Okay, you were telling me you had a particular story about Johnny Lights you were going to share with us.
Yeah, this is sort of, this was me falling in it more than anything else, but that's that's happened 1,000 times. The phone rang one Thursday afternoon, and it was this time of year, funnily enough. I don't know whether I'd been here or whether I'd been, I can't remember where I'd been. Anyway, the phone rang about 3 o'clock. He said, "Oh, it's light bulb here." I said, "Hello, John, how are you?" He said, "I'm not too bad." He said, "I've got a winner for it tomorrow." He said, "But you'll have to pick me up. You want to go and back it?" I said, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Where are we going?" He said, "Doncaster." He said, "My car's in for a service." I thought, "Oh, that's nice on a Friday, Doncaster." Anyway, picks him up at Oxshott, Dream Lodge, at about 7:15. It was early kick-off, because this time of year they start early anyway. So anyway, we have to go through all that poxy M25 traffic at about 8 o'clock in the morning, usual story. And we get trundling up the M1, and we just get to where the Leicester Forest East Services is on the M69, and an Eddie Stobart lorry pulls out. Bearing in mind, this is 1990 something, whatever. So anyway, he goes, I'll tell you what, he goes, "For a bit of fun, before we get by," he said, "to whoever pays the breakfast," he said, will it be an odd first letter of the alphabet or an even first letter of the alphabet on the front of the Eddie Stobart lorry?" Anyway, I said, "Go on, John." I said, "You call." Anyway, so like he called odds straight away, because obviously like Z's even, so he thinks, well, he's 13 to 12 on before he starts. So anyway, bearing in mind, I've got a Ford Fiesta. I'm 17 stone 3, if on a good, and he must have been all a 26 stone walkover. Now he's in the passenger seat. So I think to myself, wow, I've got you here, no danger, because the minute we go past Eddie Stobart, I'm going to shift you out in the outside lane. And he's never ever going to be able to get his Gregory Peck round and see where it is anyway. So anyway, I upped the speed, get to about 70 mile an hour. It was a bit slow, but pulled to the outside lane. I looked around, I said, "You've done your money light bulb." He said, "What do you mean, done my money?" He said, "What was it?" I said, "It was B." I said, "It was Barry." He said, "Barry?" He said, "There's only girls' names on the front of them Eddie Stobart lorries." So anyway, I done the Olympic breakfast before we got to the races. But funnily enough, the horse that he went there to back was one of Barry Hills's. He used to get a bit of help from Kevin Mooney, the ex-jockey. I think he rode for Foot Warwin back in the day. The horse was called Hesitation. It was 2 to 1 to 13.08. It won 4 lengths. I think it was favourite for one of the big races the following year. It never ran ever again. I even made a point of looking it up on the Racing Post database to make sure I was right. It was Hesitation, and it was either October or November 1990, I think it was 1998. First 13.08 favourite, Pat Edery, and it come right down this side at Doncaster. They come down the middle, and he come right down this side, hit the front about a furlong out, and won 4 lengths. I think I had about 1,300 quid on it. God knows how much he had on it. He just never stopped. But that was what he was like, you know. He thought that was as good a lead as he was going to get. And you know, it's a long way to go to Doncaster on a Friday. So there we go. It was a good tale for a change. We all got the money, and he got the free breakfast.
I haven't heard much about him recently. Is he still active, do you know?
He moved down to, he had a very bad turn. I don't know whether any of like Rocky, who's been on your show before, I think he would have known. He had a very, very, very bad accident when he was younger, and I think his knees and his legs are all full of nuts and bolts, and he was told by his surgeons and whatever that he wouldn't last forever, you know, and obviously him being a big chap, that doesn't help. But he moved from where he was in Oxshott down to Herne Bay in Kent for about, I think he was down there for about 3 or 4 years. But I did go and visit him about 2 months ago. He's moved back to sort of in between Epsom and Tadworth. He's in a nice sort of like big sort of flat there, and he's still got his marbles. He still plays every day, and it's just the mobility issues that are the problem. But you know, he's still got his marbles, and he's 74, and he's still doing what he's done all his life, having a bet. So can't be too bad, I suppose.
Right, Steve, you talked earlier that you sort of take notice of horses going down and sort of lay them and stuff. What is it you're actually looking for, and where did you learn that skill?
Well, I think your learned gentleman who was on here 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mr. Potts, I think he explained it pretty well. It's something they tell you when you're looking at them. You know, just odd times. I mean, I don't like horses that get in a state beforehand anyway. But I personally, I don't really want to play on a race until I've seen them go down to the start. They can be, you know, they can get fractious in the preliminaries and whatever and play up. But if they're, you know, if they want to go down 100 mile an hour and they won't settle this, that, and the other, that's got to be, you know, that's pretty much as big a negative as you can get. I mean, you do get odd ones that are like that, and they can keep on rolling. But generally, it's a pretty big negative when they do that, especially if it's something they don't do all the time.
So, what is your main strategy for staying ahead in front again?
I personally, as I'm essentially a layer, I don't like playing in small fields particularly, because I don't think you end up with you just end up with no lives, if you know what I mean. If you lay something in a 4 or 5 horse race, something might go on the deck early, not one you've laid. You've ended up laying 11 or 4 or 3 to 1 something or whatever it is, and you just you've got no terms. Do you know what I mean? Your terms aren't very good. I personally think that the person who's having the bet in them small fields has always got the advantage.
So do you play on the flat as well?
A little bit. I tend to, rightly or wrongly, I tend to be better at, how do I put this? I tend to be better trying to sift out the crap in a load of crap rather than sifting out the good in a load of good. So whereas some people would be very keen on playing at Sandown, Newmarket, Cheltenham, Ascot, etc., you know, in very good, in good class flat or jumps, I tend to play. I like going to places like Brighton because it's idiosyncratic, and I think I know what to look for. I like going to Bath. Similar, bit of a, you know, funny sort of place. They're always on the turn, going flat out. And jumps wise, I like Fontwell, I like Plumpton. I did absolutely adore Folkestone until the bastard shut it. I like Taunton. Generally, it's somewhere where you can get a good view of them going down. You can get a good view of them in the preliminaries, and you're halfway there, you know, to whatever you want to do. I mean, I went to Newbury last Friday. The first time I've been there for 8 years. I mean, I'm lucky. I only live in Kingsclear, 8 minutes away. I was home indoors by the 1 o'clock. I just absolutely hated what it's become. It's just like a housing complex with a racecourse stuck on the side. It's I absolutely hated every second of it.
And you'd have had some good memories of Newbury in the good old days.
Or when I was a nipper, that was where I first started going racing with my uncle. The first move was like, it was 3 10p each way doubles and a 10p each way treble when I was about 12. And then when I was about sort of 16 or 17, it used to cost £2 to get in the silver ring. And the first person you'd see every meeting was, funnily enough, was a bookie that Rocky mentioned in his video a few weeks ago, Bobby Mack. He was always there. He was like number 1 in the silver ring, and he had his old clerk with him. I think his name was Terry, the old boy. That was my memories of Newbury. It's a fantastic race course. Don't get me wrong, it's the fairest test of anywhere in the country, jumping and flat really. But I do not like what the periphery is nowadays. It's horrible.